fancy router I just installed. So maybe that's what's acting up. It's meant to be hacker proof. so maybe it thinks we have too much stuff going on here. All right, but once again, we're back. Thank you all for the patience. Let's play some music as we wait.
We just landed on the moon in a Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle.
All right, yes, we're back. We are back. We are back, everybody. Let me just... All right, wow. I mean, talk about a halftime break. All right, I mean, I guess that's what happens when we have live streams. All right, so I had just finished up with my helium spiel. So let's get back to the AMA. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay, so somebody has a comment. Let me see what it was. Support. Always good having Bill here. Always good having the crypto family here as well. Here every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, I mean, this is just two guys talking crypto, trying to take crypto to the moon. All right. Then, okay, so let me find a question we can answer, because we do have lots of... Yeah, so live stream is back. Let me know if anybody else is having issues with the stream, but everything now should be working fine and dandy. Bill and I are still here, so don't worry. We're not going anywhere, at least me for a while. People asking about, so all the token related questions, most of those, I think people can just go search for them on Token Metrics. I want to answer questions that are more pressing, that don't, because it's also tough to answer a question not really kind of delving too deep into the research. Okay, so thank you for the patience. We're almost back up. Okay, so here's a DeFi question. All right, so the question is, how do you make money with DeFi? I understand that you can stake assets as collateral, and in return, you get a loan, but what is the exact business model to profit from DeFi? Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a fair question. Let me see if I can go through, in my opinion, different ways to make money via DeFi. Now, there are so many different ways to make money with DeFi. So there isn't really like one singular way of doing it. So if we go here, this is DeFiPulse.com. This is my favorite website to track everything happening in DeFi. So as we see here, almost $1 billion has been locked up in DeFi. Half of that is in Maker, right? So first thing that comes up is, what is Maker? Maker lets you really borrow money. It's a protocol for borrowing and lending money. So if we just go to MakerDAO and we go to their site here, this lets you really, so one way to make money with DeFi is through Maker. You basically put up which is a dApp. So with Oasis, you can go here, you can trade, you can borrow money, you can save, basically earn interest via DAI. Tokens they support, DAI, Ethereum, BAT, USDC, and all these other different currencies. All right, so going back to DeFi Pulse, we also have Synthetics. Synthetics it's really a platform for traders, for people who want to speculate. It's really using derivatives to trade. Compound is lending. Aave is lending. DYDX is lending. It's basically a decentralized exchange that lets you trade on margin. Uniswap is kind of the same thing. It's a DEX. So those are different ways to really partake in the entire DeFi movement and to stake or make money. Now, staking is also something that's pretty big. I have covered this before. Okay, I'm not sure why this isn't loading. Okay, let me see if I can find a different site. With different cryptocurrencies, there's one way to also make money. Okay, and that's not working either. Okay, maybe it just was not meant to be. Bill, any other ways people can make money with DeFi?
Well, I'm sure you'll be shocked to know that I have an old school answer to this. So it's actually as old as the hill. So let's say you were an early Ethereum adopter and you own it at 30 cents a unit, but you don't want to sell it because you don't want some kind of gigantic tax event, even though you may want to use the crypto or the money to say, get involved in Aave or buy a house or a bunker or whatever you need to buy, right? So it's easier to lend and pay a fee than it is to pay some kind of gigantic capital gains tax, right? Now, in the trading community, I know like Kava Network, if you really wanted to get leveraged up, right? If you wanted to borrow a bunch of money so that you could speculate in smaller altcoins, then DeFi is a way you could do that, right? I don't think you can get 5x levered super small altcoins the way you could get 5x levered on BitMEX for an Ethereum position. So how do you get leveraged to buy alts or anything else or avoid taxes, right? So, or not avoid taxes, but avoid a taxable event, right? So we don't
call that tax planning.
Tax planning, right? Tax planning. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, it can really, I mean, this is how it works in equities, right? I mean, you put some collateral down, like, S&P 500, and then you borrow against that at 8% to go chase your favorite day trade, to go chase Tesla, right? It's as old as the hill, right? It's just getting levered or getting a loan against a stable asset.
Yeah, I mean, well said, well said. One of the examples that also comes to mind is, let's say you have $20,000 worth of Ethereum, and you think Ethereum is going to the moon. You want to hodl. You don't want to sell Ether at all. However, you want to buy a car or you want to pay off debt. As opposed to selling your Ether, you go on platforms like Maker, Compound, other DeFi platforms. So 50%. So let's say you want to borrow $10,000, you would put up $15,000 in ETH as collateral. They would give you $10,000 in DAI, for example. You take that DAI, you go to an exchange, you liquidate, you then use that to put that as a down payment on a car, to pay your tuition, what have you, without having to sell your crypto. Now, obviously, you are paying an interest rate. After some time, you do have to pay it back. But if Ethereum goes to $1,000, you still have your Ether, right? Now you basically use those profits to pay back your loan. So that's one way. I think that's probably the biggest way people leverage DeFi to make money, right? So you make money by not having to sell your cryptocurrency. I mean, so I think that's probably the most widely used way to make money with DeFi. Besides trading, trading is also one other way, right? So whether with flash loans. So for example, recently we emailed our customers a report on a project called Aave Lending, Aave protocol, that allows traders to borrow money. To borrow money without putting any money up front as collateral. Borrow money without having any collateral, make the profit, and then pay back the money he borrowed, right? So that's one way people are making money. Right now, it still remains to be very technical to do. It hasn't really kind of gone mainstream yet. I know there have been new websites like DeFi Zap and some others that are trying to make it easier for people to really participate and make money in DeFi. But those are the ways people really make money at the moment. Okay. All right. So it seems I'm freezing up. Apologies for that. All right. With that being said, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the DeFi. Let us know what you think. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, everyone. I think I'm going to have to go back and recheck my router. It seems it's acting up. But it began acting up an hour and a half into the stream. Not sure why it didn't before. All right. Do you still hear me, Bill?
I have you.
You have me? All right. Can people chime in the comments? Let me know how the connection is. Well, I mean, I think maybe if we reframe that to maybe what are our best trading tips for crypto? Bill, do you have any thoughts on that in terms of trading crypto?
All right. So the question is, what are the best trading techniques for crypto?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's learn how to be brave, right? Practice being brave, which means, buying it when it's down and then taking profits when it's going up and you think it's going to the moon. That's easier said than done. I know a lot of the best traders, that's how they do it. Okay. The other trading tip, this could be a novel, but you need to study. Okay. That's obvious. What's not obvious is that you need to manage your nervous system. Crypto's 24/7. You're going to look at it when you wake up in the morning. You are, even if you don't want to, you're going to. Okay. Make sure you learn how to breathe or meditate or walk in nature. I know, sounds nuts. The best guy I know, he surfs. So you're going to have to take care of yourself. Crypto's like football. You have to train for it, except it's not weightlifting or running. It's breathing, relaxing. So you can think clearly.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those are great tips. I myself don't trade. Just kind of, I would say, understand your personality and your psyche, and know what's good for you. So for me, for example, I've done trading before, and I realized it's not really for me, right? I like kind of doing the fundamental analysis on projects, right? So kind of having more of a longer time horizon in terms of investing. So that, to me, that's kind of worked out better for me. So I would say just understand yourself, right? Maybe you're fine with trading, right? But maybe, okay, maybe your brain just goes crazy having to stare at charts every single day, afraid of the price crashing, right? So just understand yourself better, I would say. Now, feel free to share with us any other tips you have for trading or just investing in. So the issue, I think, is my new router has deep packet filtering. So I think that could be, that possibly could be one of the issues. So it's basically one of those fancy routers that has a built-in firewall to basically block out any viruses, malware, things like that that enter or try to access our Wi-Fi or internet. So maybe it's trying to inspect my connection and it's causing things to lag. So apologies for that. I have to look into that. I just installed that today. So I'll have to kind of go through and check the settings. All right. So EFV is asking about India banning crypto. Okay, let's look into that. All right, so hi Ian, Indian banning crypto. In this adverse situation, do you think Matic will go to the moon? Your thoughts on that, please. I mean, so whether India bans crypto or not, we're still bullish on Matic because one of the things about blockchain is it's decentralized. And even if India, yes, Matic is an Indian project and lots of the developers are in India. I mean, long term, I'm still bullish on Matic Network. I don't think it's really going to stop them from doing well. We still think this has potential to be a good project. Any thoughts on India banning crypto, Bill?
Well, when someone says, there's cookies in the jar, but you shouldn't eat them. You can't eat the cookies. They're in the jar, but you can't eat them. What are you going to do? You're going to eat the cookies. So when someone says you can't do it, it's going to make people want it more. It's going to make it like, oh, I have crypto or I'm doing crypto. I think that's created a great dip buying opportunity in Matic. And then, of course, there's the question that everyone isn't asking, which is, why are they afraid of it? Why are they banning it? Right? I mean, I don't think it's a threat to India's currency, but I do think they are concerned that, if everyone did flock in that one direction and went towards crypto, that, they're afraid of it. So, whatever people are afraid of or whatever is taboo becomes somehow more attractive, right? Like the best example from US history, and no, I was not around for this in the 30s, is prohibition, right?
Right.
No alcohol, right? How do you think that worked out, right? Guys made a fortune with like an underground. So, they can ban it all they like. There's a billion people in India who just learned about crypto because the central bank banned it. And then just a good percentage of those people is going to go, ooh, what's this thing everyone's so worried about?
Yeah. 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 I mean, well said. Well said. Okay. So let me pick a few questions here. Then I think, unfortunately, we'll have to end this week's live stream early because of the technical issues. So let me take a look here. Yeah, all the token related questions, I would just recommend to join Token Metrics and just type in the coins there and just see our reports on it. If it's not on there, then feel free to submit it to feedback.tokenmetrics.com or go to the Token Metrics Telegram or forum and just kind of ask a question there and the community can chime in. Okay, let me see what we can cover. We have lots of token related questions. Okay, so here's a question. This is about stocks. All right, so the question is, which company's stock do you think will moon if blockchain technology takes off? So actually, speaking of this, pretty much this person kind of like just read our minds. So earlier this week, we did have a customer newsletter where we talked about, not actually, this was public as well. So let me pull this up. So this is not just for customers. So if you go to our blog, we did basically cover this question. So blog.tokenmetrics.com, we covered enterprise blockchain trends. And some of the companies we covered in there were Amazon, Google, and all the different players that are really on the up and up in terms of blockchain. Now we know the IBM, obviously me being a past IBMer, I know how heavily involved in blockchain IBM is. So here are the companies right now that are really at the forefront of blockchain. So we have IBM, JP Morgan, Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle, HP, SAP. So I think all these are major players to watch for in terms of stocks that have potential. But I mean, this is just my subjective analysis. I think Amazon and Microsoft, I mean, those are tech companies that have just been crushing it, regardless of what's happening in the technology industry. Bill, any thoughts in terms of what stocks have potential that are blockchain?
Okay, well, yeah, I have like a different slant on this. You know, I think it's Overstock, OSTK, and I think it's Novogratz's hedge fund, Galaxy, which trades in Canada. Okay, and here's why I think that. Let me just pull up some charts. Let me get the charts up here. Okay, so Mike Novogratz is ex Goldman Sachs. That means he's like, you know, he's like a smart guy with sharp teeth. Okay, that means he's a you know, he's a player, right? He's a big fan of crypto, but you know, if blockchain investments start to pay off, in other words, if like big players like Novogratz start making money on not just crypto trading, but blockchain investments, I think this stock Galaxy at like $2 could just, you know, moon. Now, speaking of mooning, okay, this is probably over FOMO'd. Okay, so this is probably overdone. But, you know, overstock.com with T0 for things like securities tokens and blockchain solutions that kind of like majorly disrupt how investment banks make money. Okay, let's put it that way. You know, the stock went from 2 to 22.
Wow.
Right. Down here, it's at 22 in March. We have our pandemic, and on June 10th, it hits 24. Okay.
That's crazy.
Right. So, you know, and, you know, like that's what the FOMO from 2 to 24 looks like at the big picture. Right. In 2017, Overstock was at 90. So, you know, yeah, these red candles, you know, you can buy the dip or it can correct or not. Or not. Right. In other words, I remember last year, like Novogratz's Galaxy would tank. Novogratz's hedge fund would tank in advance of a decline in Bitcoin. You know, I'd have this guy who loved to short crypto texting me like, look at Galaxy, look at Galaxy. And then Bitcoin would go. And I'm like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? Okay. So these stocks are very tied in, right? So yes, Amazon could make Amazon coin. Facebook could make Libra. Okay. My sort of thinking, and it's been a theme for the show, is the stuff that moons is the stuff that's under the radar, right? It's the stuff that not everybody looks at, right?
Right. Yeah, well said, well said. So feel free to share with us what you think. Do you think there are any stocks out there with a blockchain focus or perspective that can moon? Let us know down in the comments below. All right. With that being said, Bill, any last words before we wrap up the show?
Don't FOMO if you don't have to. Buy breakouts, breathe, stay sane. Don't watch too much news. Stay safe.
All right. Wise words, wise words. Thank you, Bill. It was a pleasure having you on.
Sir, have a good one.
You too. All right, everyone. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm having some connection issues with my, even though it's meant to be 1 gigabytes per second, but I think the new router and everything has to be configured. So I'm going to have to end the stream early, unfortunately. But as we like to say,
we just landed on the moon in a Lambo.
So as mentioned before, we're planning to put out the music album, To the Moon and Beyond, July 4th. That's the date right now we have. So hopefully everything works out smoothly for that release date. But it's going to be available on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, anywhere, over 30 streaming platforms, I believe. So pretty much whatever platform you're on, it's probably going to be there. All right. So with that being said, thank you all for all the support. Crypto family in the house, stay strong. We'll catch you at tokenmetrics.com. We'll be putting out some newsletters coming up this week to all our customers. If you're not a customer yet, why not? I mean, if you like our live streams, then imagine what we have for our customers, right? So I highly encourage you to try out Token Metrics. And we still have the 14-day free trial, which we plan to remove probably in a month or two. So do use the coupon code CryptoFamily, one word, all capital letters, to get 10% off lifetime, I believe, on Token Metrics. All right, with that being said, the moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Thank you, Crypto Family. We'll see you next time. Good night.